Hello, General Chemistry. We are going to do our fusion video. So we did fission, which was splitting an atom and having a chain reaction, and each split releases a bunch of energy. Now we're going to go to fusion, and fusion is essentially the opposite. It's when you take two atoms and you mash them together so hard, they are coming at each other so fast that instead of bouncing apart or breaking apart or splitting, instead of doing fission, they meld together to become one new, bigger atom. And this process releases even more energy than fission. It's crazy. I used to think it was like, hundreds of times or 50 times. No, it's actually only 4 times more powerful. But only 4 times more powerful is crazy when fission is millions of times more powerful than normal chemical reactions. So we're still talking super crazy powerful. 4 times more powerful than fission is still crazy powerful. So what does it look like? Let's see. Well, we've got protons coming together, and if they get mashed together, they release energy, and then they bind together, and they can release, maybe if there's extra neutrons, they can shoot out neutrons. And when they come together, well, now you've got a bigger atom. You've got bigger atoms. And protons can come together again. And when that happens, you release more energy, and you can make a bigger atom. And if you have the bigger atoms come together, they can release more energy, and you can have different things shoot out from there, and you can make even bigger atoms. So in this case, we're starting with hydrogen, and we're ending with helium. And this is sort of the basic reaction. And that's it. That's simple. So how do we get atoms to fuse together? How do we give them enough energy to make this process? Well, we are bad at it. We have tried on Earth to do this, and there's a lot of science that studies how can we make enough energy to do this, and then once we get that energy, how can we contain it? We haven't figured that out. We've done it before, but we are not able to contain it. And if you can't contain all of that energy, then you have a bomb. And that is how we have used a fusion in the past. Hydrogen bombs, 2 very, very big bombs. And that's what we've done with them. Well, there's another place where fusion is going on, and it's not controlled there either, just wild fusion, and that is a sun. And the reason why suns are able to naturally do fusion is because they are so massive. They have so much matter in that sun that the gravitational force of that sun is so strong that little tiny particles come falling toward that sun so fast that when they mash together with something that's already there, a fusion event occurs. They release a ton of energy. They release gamma radiation. We haven't really talked about gamma radiation, but it is very, very short wavelength, high energy radiation that shoots out from the sun every single time there is a fusion event. And that's the radiation that can cause a whole lot of problems. So that's happening in the sun, and it's making bigger atoms. Well, how can it do that? Well, the type of atoms, oh, I gotta move me. You guys, there we go. The type of atoms that a sun can make depends on how big it is. Because the more massive it is, the stronger its gravitational pull, and it's able to even mash even heavier atoms together to make even bigger atoms. So if we have this yellow star, which is sort of the small version, they are able to make helium. That's not that big, right? I mean, helium is just 2, right? So yellow stars can take hydrogen and mash them together to make helium. Now, red giants, they're bigger, obviously more massive, so they can make, in addition to helium, carbon and oxygen and neon and magnesium, red supergiants can make bigger stuff like sodium, silicon, sulfur, argon, and calcium. Massive red giants can make iron and nickel, and then you get your supernovas. You start doing crazy stuff. You can make all kinds of stuff, all with atomic numbers greater than 28. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. So fusion is what makes all of the elements in the universe by mashing hydrogen together and then just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Then when those stars explode, they shoot those elements out into the world to make planets and you and me and everything else. So fusion is what makes all our elements. Fusion is 4 times as more powerful as fission. On Earth, all we've been able to do with it is make bombs. But the sun can do it naturally because its gravity can pull in atoms and match them together. So there you have it. Fusion. I hope this helps. Struggle well.